about the documentary September 11th, the new Pearl Harbor. So let's begin with the questions about it. First question. Could USA Air Force have prevented the attacks? To the
Ac-
first.
According to the video, the September 11 attacks could have been prevented if only the United States National Security Agency had not ignored the surveillance system created by William Binney, one of his former analysts. The thesis was present in the documentary About America by Frederick Musser. Bain was a pioneer in the use of metadata for the resource, which I because he stated human behavior can be predicted mathematically, and 1997, when he was already working for the NCA, he began to investigate online sciences. He was totally convinced that the terrorists used this red to communicate with each other. This investigation began 4 years before the attacks on the World Trade Center happened.
Okay, who's next?
Hello everyone. Then I shared the solution to the question. Um, the United States could have prevented the attacks if then had controlled the plane that were taken for the massacre. Of course, it was necessary to intercept the plans to avoid the great flight that happened. There are many theories, but for me, the weight of the top of the towers was a fundamental factor for the four towers that fell. The Americans were aware to their relationship with this armed group. It is believed that they did not take it seriously and with the series. Definitely the plane had an object and it was to the end that they, with the Pentagon, has a fundamental part of the attack. But the question is how the US Army didn't defend itself or attack in the time. The, the evil attacks called the B4 science it was important that the intelligence started file at the airport and when the planes were in enemy power. This man was what the Americans went to see, probably excited. Um, Evaluate all the strategies and theories and consider that September 11 was a vulnerable vile terrorist attack. Thank you.
Hello. According in video, I think they had no way to prevent an attack of this magnitude, taking into account that the eighth victim, I car, didn't have an eye objective and said they did not have an enemy to attack or shoot. It should be taken into account an attack which carried out today. Routine military training exercise on the United States Air Defense Command. Thank you.
Hello, I think they could have avoided that attack because whereas Air Force had acted more quickly and warned what would happen, they would be even more prepared. According to the video report, the military response to the attack was slow and full of obstacles and the CIA had known for weeks that security conditions in Benghazi were getting worse. Dance.
Okay, and my answer is okay, it's a conspiracy. So I think that it was caused by Osama. Yes, maybe I think that US Air Force could have prevented the attacks. And the documental tell us that there was incompetence, yes, in the government to prevent the attacks. Yes, if it was real, no, because the documentary tell us that was is a conspiracy, no, is a lie, no. Okay, that's my answer. The second question is, were the twin towers deliberately demolished by explosives?
Okay, the answer by that question is according to the video, the tower were deliberately demolished, blaming their collapse of fires. The North Towers was hit by American Airlines Flight 11 in the South Tower by United Airlines Flight 175, both Boeing 767 aircraft. It collapsed 56 minutes after impact, and the North Tower collapsed at 102 minutes. The official version concludes that the collapse was caused by a combination of damage to the supporting columns and fireproof or refractory insulate caused by aircraft impacts, and the awakening of the columns on floor caused by the fires that the jet fuel started. But that the video teaches shows that the extreme moment when the tower's cold collapse showed videos when the fire stopped burning. That is my answer.
Okay, who's next is
The next is Natalia.
yeah, who's next? I think that I thought that the signal is weak. I don't know. I can hear you very well. Who's next?
Okay. The wind towers suffered a strong attack and collapse due to the high impact of the commercial aircraft. A collapse of the tower was caused by heavy damage to the structure after impact. The theory of the controlled demolition on the World Trade Center is at the pitosis of the myths that the collapse of the World Trade Center was known as consequence of the damages generated by impact of the planes against to build structure during the attacks.
Okay, who's next?
Okay, I believe that yes, because according to the images of the collapse, there is a tier building most often shared as the smoking gun in the controlled demolition theory. This building, World Trade Center Building 7, WTC 7, was not hit by any aircraft and yet it to imploded like a house of cards, says Corot and his co-authors, and others note is House CIA and Secret Service Office. Others why the only phenomenon capable of collapsing such building completely has been by way of so procedure now as controlled demolition, whereby explosives or their derivatives are used to break down a structure intentionally.
Okay, who's next? Me? Because
Yes.
okay, according to the documentary, some experts say that to demolish completely the towers were necessary explosives. They say that two airplanes hadn't been enough to do it. And some people, for example, the firefighters, policemen say that they heard heavy explosions during the emergency. Okay, that's my answer. The third question is, were some people forewarned about the attacks? We'll start.
According to the video, very few people knew about the attack before it happened. In fact, there are two theories. The first theory is that the United States government had prior knowledge of the attacks and deliberately did nothing to prevent them. This hypothesis admits the existence of Islamic hikers and doesn't question the cause of the collapse of the Twin Towers, but accused the government of the deliberately allowed the terrorists to carry out two attacks. The second theory states that it was the U.S. government itself that orchestrated and carried out the attack. This conjecture questioned the cause of collapse of the WTC and maintains that buildings were inflated with explosives before the events. That is my question. Answer. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
The Americans were aware of the relation shaped with the disarmament group. It is believed that they did not take it seriously with the citizens.
Okay.
Okay. Uh,
Number 3. I was really know that Al Qaeda was planning something, but they wasn't know exactly what type of the attack. The intelligence agencies of the United States had a division and they prevent and greater effectiveness to prevent of the unfortunate fact.
Were they warned to say, well, I don't know, but I understand that Mossad found out about the ethics beforehand and warned the Jewish community in New York. The rumor started after the Jerusalem Post report that roughly 4,000 Israelis were believed to be living or working in New York and Washington. Usually it didn't say they were dead or missing, just people in the immediate areas of the attacks who might have been affected. And
okay. I think that yes, some people were forewarned about it. The government was warned about it because Britain, Russia, and German intelligence alerted to USA about possible terrorist activities in that time. That's my answer. The fourth question is, was Pentagon really hit by an airplane?
Elena, is your turn?
I'm sorry.
No, this
Uh,
time a veces a mí parece que se me da la señal. Excuse me. I,
According to the video, it's believed that Pentagon was hit by a missile launched by a United States government and not by a commercial airplane. Its main defenders are those who support the version of inside work, who are fearing there isn't enough evidence to show a plane crash in the Pentagon. Also, some supports of inside works also dismiss is it after evaluating the evidence and believe that operation didn't include the use of a missile. Possible motive alleged by conspiracy theories for such actions include justifying the war in Afghanistan and the war in Iraq. That is my answers.
Okay, this is my answer. Definitely the plane had an objective, and this was to end that day with the Pentagon as a fundamental part of the attack. But the question is how the US Army didn't define itself or attack in time.
Okay. The controllers notified of the fact of the heartbeat of the aviation confused with what was happening in the New York. They did not understand and they watched the new plan, the rectification minutes later. The new plan crashed in Pennsylvania. George W. New York asked the Senate in the had shut me down. As Vice President of the United States replied that and the note and the had crashed after the apartment of the Irish Vice President. Remains on the plan in addition to the bar box were found on the site of attack. Although some initial videos did not show a large among the birds, later images did reveal but part of the aircraft and broken light poles, which would be seen on the plans pan before coloring.
At 9:37 on 11 September, the Pentagon headquarters of the American military was rocked by a huge explosion. According to the official account, American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the building, killing all passengers on board and 125 military personnel and civilians on the ground. The first photographs taken before the front wall of the Pentagon collapsed show the hole appears to be some 18-20 feet across at its highest point. The black box records and engine parts were found amongst the wreckage, and many eyewitnesses described seeing the plane hit the building.
okay. And my answer is, if we believe what tell us the documentary, we would say maybe we would say no. The Pentagon wasn't hit by an airplane because there was not a clear evidence. Okay? Experts say that the explosion and debris should have been bigger. Also, after explosion, there was no trace of the airplane. So for those reasons, it can be unbelievable, okay? That's my answer. The next question is, could the attack have been prevented? Who starts?
Me, Milena. Long before the world knew how Osama bin Laden was, the FBI agent John O'Neill was already obsessed with catching him. He was in charge of the fight against terrorism within the U.S. investigation police, and if his internal CSI rivals had no hidden information, it is very likely that O'Neill had dictated the plot that led to the attacks of September 11, 2001, and saved the life of the 3,000 who died in New York, Pennsylvania, and Washington that day, and millions more who were the victims of the wars unleashed immediately after. All of the information was in the hands of the CAI, but O'Neill or any other person is he unit who is responsible of controlling terrorist actions with the United States wasn't informed. That is my answer.
The
Okay.
division between, excuse me,
Okay, don't worry. Yes, because the American government and the military forces forgot the others, isolated by other countries, and the attacks could be fought by silence. It was important that the intelligence strategies file of the airport and when the planes were in enemy power.
okay. The division between the two agencies and personal rivalries allowed the attack to take place. If the CIA had cooperated with the FBI by sharing information, especially about on the fact that the Al Qaeda was present in the US 19 months before an attack took place. I am convinced that the FBI could have stopped an attack. I believe that is tragedy could have been prevented on the intelligence agents of the United States had not enough. The evidence regarding the press on the some members the team organization the United States.
Okay. Maybe done because the terrorists had been planning this attack for a long time.
Okay. My answer is, first I would like to say that for me, this question is similar to the first question, no? It depends if it was true. I mean, if Osama bin Laden did it, so maybe it could have been prevented. Hmm? You say it's a potent country, so it's a potent country. So, but if it was caused on purpose, obviously the attacks could have been prevented, no? That's my answer. Okay. Last one, no, the last one, no. The next question is, was Osama bin Laden really captured and killed?
Okay, aquí. Osama bin Laden's this was announced on May 2, 2011, when elite units of the United States Armed Force killed Osama bin Laden during a shooting at Abbottabad, Pakistan. President Barack Obama publicly reported of the night of May 2 that a small special operation team had killed Bin Laden. The soldier who killed Bin Laden was Robert O'Neill, a member of the Navy SEAL. According to the Obama administration, the body of the Bin Laden was thrown into the sea after verifying through the DNA test that he was indeed the fugitive. Subsequently, the decision not to make public photographies and DNA samples that the United States claims to have was very controversial. That is my answer.
Okay, this man was it wild, was what the Americans wanted to see, revenge, excited. This is all.
When on March 1, President Barack Obama officially announced that his dad had been assassinated during an Space Force operation, much of America and world society breathed and sighed on the relief. It is said at Bin Laden that of the shot in the head while resisting and capture are the whereabouts and the body is still armed. Although some US media officials one claim that his body was buried at the scene.
Yes, the United States sorry, Armed Force managed to find this Mr. Osama bin Laden, the founder and first leader of the Islamist terrorist group Al Qaeda. He was found and killed by Robert O'Neill's soldiers. He died on May 2, 2011, Abbottabad, Pakistan.
Okay, and my answer is according to the global news, yes, he was captured and killed, but some people believe it and some people doesn't believe it. In my opinion, I would say that it is true, but obviously it's a controversial topic. Is that okay? That's my answer. And the last question is: was 9/11 caused by the American government on purpose?
According to the video, the United States government had prior knowledge of the attacks and did nothing to prevent them. The theories that have arisen around the attack are many. They admit the existence of Islamic kidnappers and don't question the cause of the collapse of the towers, but accuse the government of allowing the terrorists to carry out the attacks. It was the U.S. government itself that orchestrated and carried to the attacks in a false flag operation. This group of conspiracy theories question the cause of the collapse of the Twin Towers, which would be a controlled demolition. That is me as well.
Even with all the strategies and theories, I consider that September 11 was um, undeadly and wild terrorist attack.
That it was on the United States government itself that they orchestrated and perpetuated the attacks in a false flag operation. This group of conspiracy theorists question the cause of the collapse of the Twin Towers, which would be controlled demolition, the terror incident and be used to reap to the attack in the two group of terrorists.
There are many theories that attribute the planning and execution of the 11th September, but I believe that the United States government had prior knowledge of the ethics that deliberately didn't not prevent them. This admits the existence of Islamic kidnappers and doesn't question the cause of the collapse of the Twin Towers, but accuses the government of deliberately allowing the terrorists to carry out the attacks. He has received the name of LIHOP, let it happen on purpose.
Okay. After watching this documentary, some people could say that it was caused on purpose. I know I listen people, I heard people in the past speaking about it, talking about it. And some people believe that because USA wanted steal oil from different countries, is the thinking of the people, some people, okay? That's my answer, okay? And these are the questions, okay? Everything. We finished.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
See you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.